What's going on, people? Nicky P here. Um, as you can see, I'm in my car right now. A couple things I wanted to discuss that I didn't really want to say around my kids because I currently have my kids, and let me get to that point. But uh, this week's kind of been a shit show of a shit storm from the current ex-wife, and I wanted to go ahead and explain some shit going on that started out. But let me go ahead and start from where the beginning started to this week. I was supposed to meet with my lawyer. I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday. Uh, last Wednesday. So I ended up meeting with my lawyer because he said he wanted to go ahead and have a meeting with me. And I figured it was about the agreement for the dissolution. So when I got there, I went to meet with the lawyer. Of course, it was about the dissolution, about the custody agreement, the divorce, and everything. And by this time, with what's going on, um, as you all may know about, you know, some unforeseen circumstances that currently have been happening, the ex-wife ended up being in Ohio at a motel with her boyfriend. Boyfriend got drunk and got violent, and that was back in December. I ended up getting the kids, and I kept them till further notice. And she also claimed kidnapping. She went to the extreme of posting a post on Facebook saying that she hasn't seen her son in 3 months. Posted pictures like it was a like missing child type thing, and she knew where it was. Children's Services knew where he was. Everybody knew where he was. I was keeping him away from a violent individual and the person that, you know, his mother and the boyfriend, because she's unstable and the boyfriend's just a fucking asshole straight out the gate. So fast forward until now, where like I said, I was scheduling an appointment, and Wednesday I was supposed to meet with my lawyer, and I went and meet with him, and I was signing the paper to get the dissolution done and everything. And I said, well, what am I supposed to do about the boyfriend who had the police called on him, and the mother who is clearly unstable, and she's a bad element for my kids? Even to the point when my daughter, my stepdaughter, daughter, whatever, I'm sure you all are tired of hearing that, but she came to my house to get her, and the cop said, well, she had to go with her because that was the biological mother, and, you know, because of the child abuse stuff. So she ended up taking her with her. She also went to the extreme of saying that, bad mouthing me over an app that we got through the court system, the app closed, about saying that her hair was all matted and dreaded and it was nasty. Every time I've had every time I've had my kids here, and both of them, I always took care of them. I cut their nails, washed their hair, I made sure everything was good. I fed them, do whatever. Grandpa's here too. Grandpa can contest to that. I've never not let anything bad happen to my kids, nor have I ever laid a hand on my children. And I know for a fact that that was bullshit lie, because she's trying to make excuses like I'm not taking care of her, but yet I've taken care of them way better than anybody else has ever taken care of them. So fast forward to after, like I said, Wednesday was the day I signed the paper. So I signed the agreement. Went ahead and got that going. Uh, Decided I would go ahead and go a different route and sign the paper to get that going. That way, if anything came up now in the dissolution where the paper was signed and the court order was signed and everything was finalized, that she decides to start her shit with me, whether it be harassing or stalking or anything of that nature, that it would be a contempt of court, and it would be brought up in the court, and, you know, we would take care of it there because she's causing issues. Um, so fast forward from that Wednesday to Saturday, this past Saturday. Um, Saturday's the drop off time at 5 o'clock for me every time, but then every other week it rotates from Tuesday at 5 and I pick them up, or the following week it'd be Wednesday at 5. That was what this agreement was for. That's what we went back to after I signed the agreement. Granted, I didn't want to sign the agreement, but then I was like, well, there's no better way to handle the situation at hand with her and everything going on than to get a court ordered agreement to which every time she starts her shit or something happens and the cops are called, that I have the legal right to do what I have to do for my son and take it to court, and, you know, have the judge hear it and bring up my concerns. So That's why I signed the paper. Granted, I don't like keeping my kids away from their mother. I never did that for my older son. I'm not going to do that for anybody because I believe children should have their parents. As long as those parents are fit to take care of them, they should have their parents in their lives. And that's for both parents, being a father or mother, unless unforeseen circumstances arise where they don't need to be around that negativity or that violence. And I don't believe in that. So I gave her the benefit of the doubt because being the mother of Bryden and she wanted to see him. The problem isn't her. She does have mental issues, and that is a problem. I know that because I was married to her for 3 years. But the problem now, regardless of just being her with her mental issues, is the boyfriend. The boyfriend is an aggressor, and he likes to prey on the innocent and the weak. And I am not about that shit. I cannot stand somebody that would ever want to harm someone little or innocent or weak or even a woman, because I've been accused of that, and that's what makes me laugh to this day, that I've been accused of child abuse and abusing her or abusing someone else or duct taping my older son, which has never happened. And how could someone be so against violence towards someone else, especially someone who's innocent and weak, do it and then have that feelings towards it? It seems like a double negative, especially for me because I don't believe in that shit. So that's one. So she ended up, I dropped him off Saturday at Lowe's. That was the court order agreement at Lowe's. So I drive to Lowe's. I dropped him off. He went with her. And I told him, I said, no one is to lay hands on you. No one is to hurt you, and you are not to hurt anyone. And you know this. And I sent him with her. I didn't like it. Granted, what's the situation? She was still with the dumbass boyfriend. I didn't like it. But I didn't know what else to do at the time because, if something does seriously happen, she would be in a shitstorm of fucking trouble with the courts because she's letting this individual or herself cause harm to a child, both children, let alone just one. And that is just, unforeseen to be done because you're not supposed to do that to children or anybody for that matter. And especially someone as unstable or violent as those two. So, dropped him off. I told her and I told him, I said, I'll pick you up Tuesday because Tuesday was my set day based upon the last day that I picked him up and dropped him off before she ended up giving him to me on December 17th because the boyfriend got the cops called on him. So based on that, it rotates every other week. So December 14th was when I picked him up, which was a Wednesday. So when you flip back and forth between the weeks until this past week, I was supposed to get him Tuesday. So I had a feeling, of course, the lights went out. Why wouldn't it? How you doing? Welcome back. But I had a feeling that the children's mother would pull some shit, and I didn't like the idea of it. So the lights go out. Once again, I apologize. I'm in the car. I'm trying to do this as discreetly as possible. And there they go. Okay, welcome back. But anywho, I ended up saying nothing, didn't message her at all. I told her exactly the day I was going to pick him up. I said I'll pick him up Tuesday, so I went to go pick him up. So, of course, my figure is that she's going to start some shit like she always does. So the day that I was supposed to pick him up, she messaged me 3 o'clock in the morning. Says she's not going to drop him off. She's not going to drop him off because technically this week we're going to start as Wednesday instead of Tuesday. And I told her, I said that, well, it doesn't work that way. You don't get to call the shots. I said, based upon our regular time, the time is Tuesday. So, of course, she starts her shit. And I told her, I said, well, you do whatever you think you're going to do. I said, but regardless, it's contempt of court. You're breaking the court order in which we both signed. And the court order was signed back in November, which is when we had the first original date, which when it started and when we started the agreement. And like I said, I signed the divorce paper or the dissolution, so it went ahead and it went through, but we're trying to wait for it has to go to the court and the judge has got to sign it to finalize it. So that same day that she was supposed to drop him off, of course, I told her, I said, I'm going to be at Lowe's. I'll wait. I'll go to Lowe's at 5 o'clock and I'll wait until 5:30. And today's my day. I'm going to get him one way or another. I said, if you want to cause a problem or try to say whatever, it's contempt of court. That's on you. We'll take it to court and we'll see what happens. Of course, that same day that after I said that, I was at work. Well, I went to lunch and ended up coming back. Well, she ended up coming into my work. She brought both the kids with her. She's storming around work. I've had people that I work with seen her and said that she's storming around work basically trying to find you. She always comes in there and tries to act like she's trying to buy something, and that's not the case because she never shops there. So she's coming in there to start shit with me, and I wasn't in the area, so she left. So I went to Lowe's afterwards, and I went there, and I sat, and I was at 5 o'clock, and she didn't show. I didn't message her and fuck blow her phone up or nothing. There's no point because, it's not worth it. She does that to me all the time, blowing phones up, but I'm not going to do that. I told her exactly Tuesday, and I ended up calling my lawyer and letting them know. I said, well, she didn't show. She's not here. What am I supposed to do? And I said, you all need to contact her. Well, they supposedly went to contact her lawyer, never heard nothing. She didn't show. Wait till 5:30, so I ended up just leaving. So then come to the fact to today, which is Wednesday. The day after, it was yesterday was when I was supposed to pick him up. I didn't get to pick him up because she pulled her shit. So she kept playing around, and I was like, okay. So I ended up going to Lowe's today, went to go pick him up, and she messaged me. She doesn't give me time. She just messaged me, oh, well, Thena and Bryden will both be whatever at 5 o'clock at Lowe's. So then now, after all this bullshit with Thena that she said I'm never going to see her again, she's going to send her with me and said that all this other stuff that about me not being nice to her, neglecting her, being mean, I've never done a damn thing to this kid. I washed her hair, took care of her, clipped her nails, I take care of her, change her clothes, do everything I have to do because she's one of my own, regardless biological or not. So let me refresh that. I don't want to shut off again. Sorry. So after all that and making up these false claims of her being traumatized, supposedly because I kidnapped her and all this other bullshit like she did on Facebook, as some of you may know, she ends up letting her come with me, and she asked Children's Services if it's all right if she goes spend time with me. Well, Children's Services didn't find an issue. Then she also sent this message to me about her messaging Children's Services, and she wanted me to come pick up the kids early because she scheduled an appointment at Kid Care for them, and I guess supposedly some random fucking probably well checked because CPS is involved and everything. And I made an appointment, but somehow she found out, and she was basically told me she was going to be there to cause a problem. So I had to cancel the appointment for Bryden. So she was like, well, the kids want you to be there, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, no, I'll be at Lowe's at 5, and I can pick them up at 5, whatever. And she started her shit again. She blew my phone up messaging, well, if you want to pick them up early, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, all right. I said, I'm not picking them up early. I just ignored the messages. And besides that, I was my dad had a doctor's appointment, so I had to go with him, and I went to find out what was going on. So in the process of that, when I went to go pick up the kids beforehand, we ended up stopping somewhere, and I ended up coming to find out that my lawyer secretary ended up messaging me and telling me that the divorce dissolution agreement has been signed and finalized today, actually yesterday. So I am officially divorced now. Thank God. I'm excited about that. I got the copy of the final agreement for the dissolution, and I also got a copy of the dissolution agreement, which is the divorce agreement between me and her, that has a page where she signed and a page where I signed. So it's all finalized. That's good news to me. Yay, being divorced, and that's finished. But then after that, when I ended up going to Lowe's to go pick up my son, Thena was coming. So she said Thena was going to go. Well, I was sitting there waiting, and I pulled up. And when I went to pull up, I seen Thena and Bryden. And Thena got all excited, ran up to me and gave me a hug and everything else, and Bryden got in the car. Well, Thena got in the car, and then Thena started throwing a fit like she didn't want to go. I said, okay, you don't have to go. And I said, that's fine. You can go to your mom. That's whatever. It's up to you. I said, you don't have to go if you don't want to. I'm not going to force you. And the mother of the children decided to say, well, that's because of all this stuff that you pulled with the kidnapping, and she's very traumatized. I didn't kidnap any kids, regardless of what you may think. I had the kids in my house for their safety, and I took well care of them. I took more than well. And my dad was here. My dad took care of them. They were doing really great. They were doing 10 times better than they ever done because they didn't have someone like that bugging them or ignoring them. They like to have the attention, which any kid does. And that's what I did. So now the fact of all this other shit going on, Thena didn't go. I was like, okay. So I ended up getting Bryden, and we ended up coming to the house and hanging out. Well, next thing I know, my dad's like, he's going to take my aunt to the store. So I went to the store, and I had Bryden. It was me and Bryden. Well, next thing I know, my phone's lit up. Of course, you can kind of guess who the fuck it is or where it's going. She messaged me, oh, I'm going to drop off Thena. Thena wants to come over. Granted, I already talked to her and I told her at Lowe's, I said, if you don't come with me when you come with me, you can't come over because mom's not allowed at the house. She's not allowed here. She's not allowed around me. That's also breaking the dissolution agreement. Not to mention where I'm living has a court agreement for her being on the property. She's not allowed here, and if she is to arrive, I'm supposed to call the police on her. I've already called the police multiple times, but guess what? She randomly showed the fuck up. And guess who was with her? My daughter. She ended up having my daughter come down to my house, knock on my door while she stood up on the rail over here by the steps. And basically, it's cold outside, so I'm not gonna leave my daughter sitting in the cold. But she knows that if I call the police on her, she whatever. So now, with all that going on and everything of the situation at hand, she's coming to my house. She's causing problems. She's basically dropping off the kids and stuff. And also, the kids told me that kids talk a lot. They really memorize a lot of shit. So when something happens, they'll tell you in a heartbeat. And when you can tell the difference between the truth and the lie because that's how it is. My kids don't lie. They'll tell you straight up. Like if anything goes on, they'll tell you straight up. So I kind of figured that I wanted Athena to come with me, but I'm not going to force my daughter to go. But she's the kind of person that anybody would love to have a free babysitter. That's what she is. That's what she does. And to my ex-wife, I'm a free babysitter. So basically, when I watch Athena or if Athena comes over because I don't have no legal ties to her, that's an easy way for her to have someone watch the kids so she can do whatever the fuck she wants with her dumbass boyfriend. So Athena didn't want to go, so that kind of put a tramp on their shit. So you know what she did? She decided to drop her off to me so she can go do shit and caboodles with whatever the fuck she wanted to do and cause a problem. So clearly, if you're just going to drop off your kids, that's called abandonment, and that's what you do. And then not to mention not allowed to be here. I done told her, I've threatened her. It wasn't a threat. I told her, it was a promise. I said, I'm going to call the cops. So I'm not playing. You're not supposed to be here. You're not allowed here. And she still shows the fuck up. So now I got to deal with that. And it's just a couple things on my mind. I just figure I want to give you guys an update of what's going on. Divorce is finalized, so I'm officially divorced. Thank God. Don't have to worry about that shit no more. But I still have to deal with all the bullshit with my son. So now it's not a divorce battle. It's a custody battle because it's always going to be a custody battle for her no matter what, because she is not fit to be a parent, and the people who she has around her happen to be bad elements, which are not required. Don't accept to be around my children, biological or not. So I just want to make a quick video for you guys, kind of give you an update of what's going on. Sorry about the lie; it goes out every once in a while. I just had, like I said, I had a few things on my mind. I wanted to give you guys an update, but I'm still fighting the good fight. It gets annoying every once in a while when someone thinks they can do what the fuck they want and they won't have no repercussions. So, fuck. And there goes the lights. See what I'm saying? Every time. Bullshit. So, this is Nicky P, signing off. Love, peace, chicken grease to you all. Appreciate everybody who's watching my videos. Anybody who hasn't watched my videos, I have a slew of videos of the journey of the hand, of which I went through. Also, if you have not, subscribed to my channel, that would be very much appreciated. I already got 17 subscribers, which is way more than I thought I'd have. But keep it going. Keep the views going. If you got anybody that's going through a divorce or a dissolution, recommend to watch my videos, or they just into the gaming videos or anything like that, or just feel like watching some random shits and giggles on YouTube, Nicky P is where it's at. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Love, peace, chicken grease again. Everyone have a good day, good night, good evening. Hopefully your year is going better than mine. Hopefully it gets better. I'm sure it will. I'm just kind of going through the motions, and of course no stronger person to be able to do that. There's a lot of shit balancing what's going on, but I'm going to do everything I can to make ends meet because that's who I am. But I'll let y'all go. Stay up, every single one of you. And like I said, you get a chance, don't forget to like and subscribe on my videos, or some of them, or if you just want to subscribe, I'm cool with that. But yeah, that'll be it. Talk to y'all later.